There we go, tie-breaking Game 3 here on Metalopolis, loading up in the quarterfinals of Zotac Cup number 52. Once again, we see Grubby spawning as a green Protoss, and again in the 9 o'clock position here, this time on Metalopolis, of course. And at the 6, we see Unix spawning as a yellow Terran, so close air distances. That means drop play is very strong. And yeah, I guess, in that last game, just to give you guys a quick recap, Grubby going for that quick Void Ray play, hiding the Stargate. It's a very creative play, but didn't really pay off. Though he got his Void Rays out in a good fashion, and honestly, he managed to hit Unix with a very low Marine count. He wasn't able to do the damage, and once, of course, Unix got his Marine count up to significant numbers, he couldn't really accomplish much. He kept the forward contain going, but invested too much on it. Didn't really have the funding to expand his gateway count, so he was on I believe on two gate for quite a long time. So wasn't able to replenish his gateway units quick enough. Invested too much in that, went for a very late expo, even though he had to contain. And yeah, very low production, so once Unix was finally in a position to push out, he ended up devastating his opponent. You see Unix now with that 12 Rex going on down. I'm sure we're going to see the 13 gate here by Grubby, yes indeed. It's the most normal thing in the world. So we're going to see both these players scouting. Interestingly enough, Grubby going the long way around. So they are going to scout each other late. At the latest even. They're going to see a bit of a high five here in the middle of the map. Gas is going up for Unix, so nothing too much to report here in the early game. Yeah, there we go, saying hi. So just from the timing of the workers just passing by, they should know that they are in close air distances. We do see the commands that are now morphing into the orbital command. And this time an ice score going down. This time Grubby opting for a SimCity that is rather defensive. This is basically keeping your nexus safe, and at the same time just a very short distance from your middle line, so that your probe is only gone for a very short period. Unix now with supply depot behind the gas. It's a good call. A lot of people have forgotten things like that, little things like that. They don't do it anymore. And often that ends up hurting them considerably. It's one of those things that when StarCraft came out, when the beta was out, everyone was like, oh, gotta check behind the gas, there's gonna be cheese there. And everyone was very, very diligent about it, but more and more as things went on, people kind of started to neglect it because, of course, everyone was building something there, so abusing it wasn't that popular anymore, so if it's not getting abused, then people are gonna, defend against it less. And again, we see Unix opening up with that quick concussive. He is going for the command center here, though. He's going to go Rax expand once again. So he's convinced this play in the last map was the correct one. And well, we know what they say. History is written by the victor. Do you see the factory follow-up? Are we going to see a second Rax here come out? There's a question. We do see a bunker at the front, so it might even be some kind of Banshee player come out. Do you see the second gas here going down a little late? A little too late, you'd say, for Banshee play, typically. Meanwhile, 3 gates now up for Grubby, so Grubby is going to be aggressive with the gateway army here. It's got the position in the middle of the map, and no concussive is finished. Really not that many units out for Unix. Building a pylon here. See, the only real reason for this is just to keep Unix units away from the bunker. It's pretty much what they call an idiot trap. You build what is most common is doing this as Zerg. You send an overlord here, and you're like, oh no, I managed to let my overlord slip away. You force you basically trigger your opponent to come chase that with stalkers or as marauders, or as marines, and you devastate it with banelings or zerglings. Of course, in this case, Grubby just wanted those few units away from the bunker. He wanted those few units to actually spend some time hanging out here so he could intercept them and pick them off. You see Grubby here finding a little bit of a marine action, but now can't get up that ramp because, of course, concussive is going to make it very tough to break. At least he's going to be able to force field the ramp. He's got a forward contain going, and now he is expanding. The robotics facility is the follow-up of choice, and we do see the starport being added on here by Unix. Reactor building right next to it. So likely, just looking at the amount of racks, he definitely wants to get a lot of medevacs out. There we go, Guardian Shield, and once again Grubby actually trying to make his way up the ramp. We saw him try this earlier, and it really didn't pay off for him. It doesn't pay off for, here either. Loses a Zealot. Does force Unix to pull a few SCVs there to repair. But yeah, Grubby at your ramp is a scary thing apparently. He's not afraid. He definitely doesn't fall back very quickly, and he loves apparently to go for the aggression there. Well, makes for a interesting style to watch. We see a third bunker now being built as well. But the bunker's now empty. Are we gonna see a massive drop? Oh, I think he might try for a massive drop right now. Grubby is pulling his forward contain back a little bit. But is it going to be in time to defend against this? This is the question right now. Unix with a massive army drop here. Well, you know, considering his army size, this is you know, actually really big. A lot of these probes instantly being pulled. Now Grubby actually realizing what is going on. Warping in units, but really not the kind of units you know, Stalkers against Marauders, of course, not a great situation to be in. Beautiful drop lay there by Unix. Taking down the robotics bay. Colossi already in production, but still that's going to set Grubby stack back. Now losing a pylon, losing all the production there, except for this one gate. And the medevac's getting away with most of the army as well. Very successful drop play there by Unix. You can see the pylons going down. Of course, you know, he set the tech back, killed off the robotics bay, and unpowered a lot of these gateways. Meanwhile, there is still one Colossi in production that's going to resume as soon as the pylons are rebuilt. Very smart play there by Unix. Not worried, you know, that his Protoss opponent would actually come up the ramp. In that case, he would have forced the base raid, and honestly, I think Unix would have been in a better situation there regardless. Grubby pulling his army back in time and does manage to defend, but heavy damage taken already. The robotics bay being rebuilt, the Colossi now coming out, and look at all those gateways just being chrono boosted just because Grubby knows that he needs to spend all his minerals and all his gas that have been stacked up from this natural expansion. You see the bio now from Unix just making forward and getting a very strong position here. He's got that high ground side, of course. We got a medevac and takes out a free stalker and takes. Oh! Pylon food caps Grubby again. Only briefly this time. Oh, a bit too far away there. Honestly, they could have capitalized on that better with the sentries. Now, following a few of these units in, we do see the Colossi now finished, doing a lot of damage against the bio. The bio is very hurt. The healing really can't keep up to it. Can't keep up with it. This Colossus is up to 5 kills already. It does trigger Unix to fall back. I was actually thinking that Unix was going to do more damage there, but he is forced out. You know what? This is a good time to look at that bottom line. We do see 48 probes, so you know, at least the eco for Grubby has been going quite well. And he's got a production right now up and running. It's still a little bit high on the minerals and the gas, probably higher than he wants to. He's now getting that external thermal lens. He's going to get those Colossi out. He's already got Colossi queued up even, just to show how healthy he is when it comes to the eco. Of course, his gateway units are going to be dwindled a little bit, not as high as, there's not going to be as many as he might want. Now Unix is going to go for the third. Unix, meanwhile, you know, he's got 43 SCVs, is behind in workers, but still in a decent situation, a decent position, just because he's got this heavy Marauder army and 16 Marines out as well. Getting some Vikings now in decomposition just to deal with the Colossi. And oh, single Zealot being warped in there actually takes out the SCV. Clever little play there by Grubby. Grubby losing a pylon and not actually ready for it. There we go, pylon finishes right away. So it's not going to hinder his production too much. But you see a little bit of drop harass here by Unix. He's trying to make something happen. Can't get it to the third and really didn't do much damage at the natural eater. But it's good that he's trying. You know, with little plays like this, you do keep your Protoss opponent on the back foot. He can't move out, you know, and you're stopping any kind of aggression at the front. Still time workers, that is Grubby. The third finish at roughly the same time now. Ghost Academy now coming up. EMP for Unix is, of course, a great addition. Kind of wondering when we see the tech transition from Grubby. There we have it, actually. Ooh, the Twilight Council researching charge and Dark Templars. Dark Shrine coming out. He wants to force his opponent to waste a lot of scans. Of course, EMP can also be used to reveal Dark Templars. That's most a very temporary solution, seeming that EMP is very costly, of course. The Unix just has a very, very strong force here. Look at that. The drop play threatens the third, and meanwhile the main force is going to go for the natural. It's going to be very hard for Grubby to defend on two fronts. The drop play now going down. Meanwhile, the big army attacking the clump of Protoss units. We do see the Colossi taking a lot of damage from the Vikings. They go down right away, and the Vikings even landing. Beautiful aggression here by Unix. Unix might go all the way here. He might just force Grubby to GG out here. Oh my god, the National's going to go down. He does clean out the drop, but at the same time, he does not have enough gateway units out to actually defend against this. Oh my god, Grubby up against the wall now. Pulling all the probes, sending them in, and losing his last few gateway units. DT's now warping in. The DT there doing a lot of damage. Still alive, but now the third under attack. Zealous warping in here. Ay. We just see Colossus trying to pick away at these units. But no, the third is going to fall for Grubby as well. Unix with a strong showing here in this third deciding tie-breaking map. And the third goes down, and now Unix is looking great, but oh my god, look at that! A DT for Grubby, getting a lot of kills here at the third. Clearing out the SCV count. So worker-wise, they're actually in a very similar situation right now, a very similar position. We do see turrets now finishing. We're starting to get something done there. Picking off the SCV there, nicely done, forces a scan. Now the third is going to finish. The third for Unix is forced to lift off. Yeah, DT is all over the place. Grubby is just forcing his opponent to spend all his energy on scans. That way, keeping the Terran opponent in his own base and stopping him from finishing off Grubby. So the army count for Unix is just honestly very daunting. 8 Vikings right now out. Colossus are going to have a very, very short lifespan. You see that Grubby's trying to re-expand towards his natural. Meanwhile, DT again trying to do a little bit of aggression against Unix, just trying to delay him and forces another scan. At least he's forcing scans and avoiding these mules. Again, a DT goes in. Oh, we don't even see the scan. We do see the Zealous now charging on in. Scan goes down. DT disappears. Vikings taking a ton of shots off of the Colossi. Colossus goes down and good game is called. Grubby is out of here. Unix is going to move on to the semifinals. Grubby not able to really capitalize on his early 1-0 lead. And that means that semifinals are going to come up next here in the Zotac Cup, number 52. You're watching Chaos TV, actually. We're live from the Chaos TV studio. I'm, of course, Martijn, a.k.a. Mumbles, from DLHF.tv and Lowland Lions fame. We'll be back soon with more action. We'll be back soon with semifinals action. Stay tuned.